Level 1. Security Contractor 0500, Basra. The compound smells like diesel, wet concrete, and burnt coffee from a generator-powered pot nobody's cleaned in weeks. You're on checkpoint duty, M4 across your chest, sweat soaking through your plate carrier before the sun finishes breaking the horizon. $650 a day, tax-free, more money than a year of construction work back home ever paid you. A dust-caked Toyota idles too long at the gate, engine ticking, windows fogged with breath. Your grip tightens, finger indexed along the frame, not yet on the trigger. The interpreter shouts something in Arabic you don't catch fast enough. For 3 seconds, you don't know if you're about to shoot a family or stop a bomber. It's just an old man flooding the carburetor. Nothing happens. But your team leader saw your finger drift, and that night, over lukewarm rations, he tells you hesitation gets people killed out here. You start studying his radio checks, his hand signals, wanting his rank and his paycheck. Level 2. Team Leader. 8 months later, you run a 4-man personal security detail escorting an oil executive through Baghdad's red zone in an armored Suburban that still smells like gun oil and new leather. $180,000 a year now, wired to an account you barely have time to spend from. Near a produce market, small arms fire cracks off the hood. You scream a reroute into your mic, cutting through an alley you scouted on a supply run days earlier. The client gets out clean, and command flags your file for promotion. But in the back seat, one of your men bleeds through a hasty tourniquet, shot clean through the shoulder, and asks why you didn't call the turn 2 seconds sooner. You have no answer that satisfies either of you. You start pouring 3 fingers of whiskey to fall asleep. The company's only response is a pay bump, not a conversation about what you saw. Level 3. Project Manager. Now you're behind a plywood desk in the green zone, under a window with blast tape and an X, running logistics for 40 contractors across 3 provinces, signing manifests for fuel, ammunition, and body armor worth $500,000 a quarter. At 0300, your phone lights up. An IED ambush outside Fallujah, 2 men dead, one of them a guy you trained yourself back in Level 1's mold. You draft the incident report before the families are even notified, softening unnecessary escalation of force into standard defensive response because legal asked for it at dawn. You sign it anyway, handshaking slightly over the keyboard. That night, you can't picture either man's face, only their 9-digit contractor ID numbers scrolling behind your eyes. Level 4. Country Manager. 3 years in, you manage the entire Iraq contract, clearing 7 figures a year, flying business class between Erbil and corporate headquarters in Reston, Virginia. A Ministry of Interior official wants a processing fee, cash, folded inside a newspaper, to renew your operating license. You approve it because the alternative is 400 jobs gone by Friday. A freelance journalist starts emailing questions about a checkpoint shooting you buried in Level 3's paperwork. Lawyers fly in overnight with briefcases full of NDAs. You're told to say nothing beyond what's already public record. Staring out your Erbil office window, you understand you've become the wall. The truth dies against brick by brick. Level 5. Director of Operations Corporate promotes you to oversee contracts across 4 countries. Salary north of $2 million. Bonuses tied to renewal rates, not casualty counts. In a glass conference room in McLean, Virginia, you approve a bid to arm a regime with a documented human rights record because the margins beat your old book by 12 points. A congressional aide leaks your emails to a reporter, including one calling a civilian death toll acceptable operational variance. The stock drops 4% by market close. Your name sits 3 lines deep in an SEC filing. Board members who signed off on the same bid stop returning your calls entirely. Level 6. The Reckoning Federal Investigators subpoena 5 years of your emails. You sit in a K Street law office rehearsing answers about money you never personally touched but always signed for with a company pen. The company settles for a fine smaller than last quarter's rounding error, then cuts you loose with an NDA buying your silence in writing. That night, in an empty apartment, You watch a 24-year-old veteran walk into orientation at the same company under a rebranded logo, sweating through stiff new armor, hungry for the signing bonus. He looks exactly like you did in level 1. Nobody in that room tells him what it costs. The contract doesn't die with you, it just finds someone else to wear it.